Let the captured moments touch your heart as you travel this adventure. Comment your thoughts. Each word connects us. Join us in this story by subscribing to keep our stories alive in your heart. I never imagined myself here, lost in contemplation, gazing out the window with a warm cup of tea, reliving that magical night. However, some experiences in life etch themselves into our souls with clarity and feeling unaffected by time. I was calm at 62, far from the thrill of fresh feelings or unexpected situations. This short time of life may feel like every experience has been laid bare, especially after nearly 2 decades at the same company, where each day is like a familiar chapter in a favorite novel. My employment wasn't glamorous, but it gave me a sense of security in life's ever-changing tides. I was the loyal executive assistant to Edward Marshall, the esteemed CEO of a publishing business in downtown Chicago. Each day felt like a page in a thrilling novel, full of stories to be told. His quiet strength and effortless grace earned him respect from others. His professionalism and composure seemed to shelter him from emotional turmoil. Yet underlying that controlled facade was an unsaid strain, a delicate dance between duty and desire that he never dared recognize. Until that awful night. A simple email started a roller coaster of emotions and possibilities. Will you drink coffee with me tonight? The lovely gift I received. I want to share something with you that weighs on my heart and spirit. I stared at the computer in horror, my heart racing as I murmured the phrase to myself like a fragile spell, attempting to find comfort in its familiarity. David Carter, in his gentle grace, never asked for my money. We sometimes got lost in the late hours, with the workplace lights casting shadows on our shared moments. And we sometimes ordered takeout, but this time felt different. This tender invitation summoned the soul and promised warmth and connection. My heart whispered a gentle no in that moment. In quiet moments, I wonder what secrets lurk beyond our everyday routines. What could be so important that it goes silent in the office? I navigated uncertainty with curiosity's gentle tug. I had no idea my fingers danced across the paper, pouring words for you before your heart could process them. Without question, when will we cross paths and where will we meet under the stars? Your response arrived nearly promptly at 7 in the morning, like the first light of day. The Langford Grill. I examined myself. The Langford Grill was more than a restaurant. It was a place where hearts bonded over shared meals and whispered desires. It was an elegant hideaway where intimacy flowed in the air, embracing us. A pianist plays soft jazz in candlelight, creating an intimate atmosphere. The menu, eagerly anticipated, promises an experience as uncommon in love as a whispered secret between lovers to those who plan their indulgence weeks in advance. I grabbed my possessions that night with a strange, fluttering warmth in my stomach. Could it be our daily burdens? Possible rising new horizons? Unfortunately, I don't get it. At the peak of my thoughts, every word danced like a longing whisper on the paper, perhaps a subtle encouragement to enjoy a new chapter's stillness. But why is wealth so appealing when it's so far from the heart's desires? As I neared the restaurant, my heart swelled with an almost unbearable intensity, as if money could ignite such deep emotions. The waitress escorted me to a quiet window table where David Carter sat, anticipation palpable. He closed his eyes and lingered in the shadows, cradled by his usual warmth. He had a unique quality, though. As he adjusted, a delicate ballet of vulnerability took place, revealing his raw, unprotected soul through uncomfortable and adorable actions. You look absolutely radiant tonight, he said as I sat down. He laughed softly, erasing the admiration. My heart feels grateful. I hope this debate isn't about my quarter reports because my heart wants a night away to escape those posters. He laughed, but his look held a warmth I hadn't noticed before. It goes beyond work. Perhaps not fully, but there is hope. The waitress brought a bottle of wine, and David Carter chose my beloved Silver Oak Cabernet before he could speak, touching me deeply. My heart twisted with emotions. How could he know? Our words danced freely, weaving laughter and stories that felt like whispers of our trip in the warm glow. However, as the night deepened, a noticeable change began to occur in the air. My heart was heavy, with an unbreakable force I could not escape. After washing the last dish and the kitchen went silent, he approached, his voice lowering to a whisper that seemed to hover between us. I want to share something on my heart with you, but I don't want you to feel pressure. I crave your honesty and heartfeltness. I breathe deeply, crying. I'm ready to retire as the year winds down. Like being pushed into an unfathomable sea, my heart felt heavy. I shared my life with David Carter for 20 years, weaving our memories and experiences together. My affection for him went beyond professional relationships. My love for him went beyond friendship. I still think about his hand resting on my waist, a quiet reminder of moments that passed. However, that is not why I called you here. He stared at me intently, making my heart race. In quiet reflections, I wonder what life will be like without him. My heart aches with the impending goodbye, creating a gloomy future. I realize a significant truth when I think deeper. There is a soul I cannot bear to leave. When I leave that chapter of my life, I felt a gentle whisper of a pure form. David Carter stared at me with an intensity that made my pulse flutter. And when he held my hand, it felt like the world around us slipped away, leaving only his warmth and our wordless connection. Claire, I adore you beyond words. You have an irreplaceable place in my heart. He smiled tentatively, tilting his head. I kept quiet for so long, terrified to cross that fine line between friendship and more. As I contemplate the days ahead, I realize something profound. I cannot imagine that journey without you. My mind swirled with ideas. My heart raced in his presence, despite his superiority, my steadfast and capable leader, in harmony forever. As he sat behind me, his voice nurtured me with lovely promises of love and care. Fate has created a tapestry of surprises, and here I am, trapped in the delicate web of the unexpected. As if to say 1,000 words with a touch, he gradually tightened his grip on my hand. My vulnerability reveals a part of me you may have never seen before. Share this with you feels necessary. If you've had tender moments of connection, I think it's worth exploring them honestly. When I opened my lips, quiet overtook me, leaving my thoughts unheard and my heart heavy with emotions. I look back at my life at 62, weaving memories of love, grief, and the bittersweet passing of time. For what felt like an eternity, romance had slid between my fingers, whispering in my heart. In my solitary periods of meditation, I thought of the years I spent working, believing that the tender strands of love and connection had vanished from my journey, like whispers from the past. As I sit here, gazing into the depths of the guy who has shared my path for 2 decades, a powerful understanding rushes over me. I had a peaceful knowledge that it was expected. I felt a soft ache, not disappointment. I felt fear, which cast uncertainty on my heart. In the calm expanse of the unknown, a world I was prohibited to enter, I realized that his was not the only soul clothed in deception across time. My heart whispered, longing and connection as I watched David Carter. As I stood there, it felt like the universe was shrinking, drawing in all its immensity until only we remained, suspended in an infinite and ephemeral moment. Without light or murmurs, his words wrapped me like a heavy blanket, leaving me breathless and contemplative. Does my longing weigh on you? Maybe destiny is speaking to me to take that step. My heart raced. Each moment sparked emotions I hadn't felt in years. How could I express such a profound moment? Oh, David Carterito. I confess, my voice warmer than intended. That words elude me. You need not utter a word at this moment, he said, his stare filled with a deep understanding that seemed to fill the air between them. Simply, Claire. My heart has ached in quiet for too long, and I tire of unspoken words. I want to tell you the truth while time slips through my fingers. What is time if not a soft whisper of seconds passing through our fingertips? Each second, a heartbeat in our lives. It dances around us, weaving memories and dreams and suggesting we treasure every fleeting glimpse and soft touch. It helps us negotiate the complex tapestry of love and existence with longing and solace. We felt a deep affinity to that term during our time together. I didn't imagine great romances or time's complicated dance in the early 1960s. My life had a steady rhythm of confidence and comfort. The man, whose passion had spanned 2 decades, moved closer and urged me to consider a possibility that could change our lives forever. among the soft glow of candlelight and hushed words. I clutched my hand, longing for quiet to untangle my thoughts. David Carter, your name weighs on my heart and haunts my memory. Syllables dance like whispers of past dreams, creating sweet and bittersweet longing. In the silence of the night, I think of you, tracing memories in my heart. I never knew you could inspire such sensations. My mentor and friend, you've always been significant to me. I understand, he whispered, smiling wistfully. I may be carrying my heart's secrets, and I wonder whether I should have shared them with you sooner. As I sip my drink, I suppress my feelings and search for something to hold my restless hands. What? You surprise me. Each sip seems like a sea of emotions. Your words resonate deeply with me. He cried quietly, letting the scene grow. In quiet moments away from work, Claire, do you ever ponder on who you are, your true heart's desire? Or have you accepted that this is all there is? Though non-malicious, his remark struck a reality that broke my heart. When did I last contemplate my joy? Of my heartfelt desires? Since my marriage ended quietly 15 years ago, time has passed. Our once thriving relationship slowly waned. In my quiet time, I think about how quickly life changes. After 2 years, he found love again while I worked, believing his assurances that I was content and needed nothing more. That revelation hurts, reminding me of what could have been. A soothing voice has finally asked me about my greatest desires after what feels like a lifetime. No words came to mind, my voice barely above a whisper, as if the air surrounding me was heavy with unspoken feelings. David Carter approached his chair, staring at me with a soul-stirring intensity. Perhaps it's time to explore. I gently exhaled, felt my thoughts swirling. What if my heart isn't ready for this journey? What if I can't attain that distant desire, that shimmering hope? Has my book grown into a knowing smile full of whispered truths and delicate reflections? I will accept that truth. My heart tells me that what awaiting you may not be what you want. As the caretaker approached with the check, a sense of urgency pervaded the air, and David Carter took care of my bag before I could grab the handle, surprising me. He softly placed his hand on the small of my back while we lingered, sending a nice tingle through me. The beautiful glow of illumination comforts the heart and soul. A pleasant warmth embraces, a warm, secure cocoon. He tapped into my soul in a surprising way. I don't want to answer tonight, he said, barely audible above the crisp Chicago air as we entered the night. I just want you to think about it. I cried as I went through a haze, lost in a world that felt remote and painfully close. We'll accept it wholeheartedly. His smile and focus on me for a heartbeat longer than necessary created a warmth between us. I whisper good night to Claire as the day ends, wishing you dreams as lovely as ours. Good evening, David Carter. One night, my dream became a visitor, causing my mind to wander in a sea of thoughts and emotions. In bed, with my eyes lost in the sky, I relived every moment of that scene as if each memory were a flashback of what could be. La forma en que sus ojos se posiciona sobre mí para desnudarme. The way her voice diminished as she said my name, as if each letter were a sigh of the heart, resonated deeply within me. My own self has failed me, like a lover who leaves at night, leaving only a trace. When her fingers brushed my face, my heart stirred with unexpected emotion, like if time had stopped and the world around us had vanished. How I got closer without trying. ¿Acaso nunca considerado verlo con otros ojos? Is it hidden so deeply within me that I refuse to acknowledge it? En el amanecer del segrientida, el aucinio con un corazón palpitante, solicitando un momento de soledad para reunir mis pensamientos antes de contarlo. Pero al cruzar el umbral, entendía que el ángel se desencantaría en el aire como susurro perdido en las sombras. Una única rosé roja reposaba a mi mesa, sus pétalos conservando la frescura de la mañana, como un suro de amor antes de florecer. Absolute silence. No words can describe it. It was just a whisper, hoping its echo might find a response in the great silence around us. The rose rested in its place, iteda en cotivaroro, a beauty that challenged being passed over. Mi dos andancerono sobre sus pétalos, pero no tocaila. He was aware of who had decided to leave, leaving a void in his heart. You didn't need a note to express your feelings. Respirar profundamente, elevando el aire a mis pulmones, colocando mi bolso a mis pies y acomodando en mi asiento. Siento, sentito anticipación y aquelmo. The office had a weird atmosphere that morning, as if it were guarding a secret I could not name. La rutina abrasadora de ternura se cambió en un suro de viento que destabilizó el suelo firme. David Carter, a name that calls to mind pleasant recollections and whispered dreams. Words that arose in the night danced in my mind, waiting to be answered. Have you ever immersed yourself in your inner depths, exploring your soul with the reverence it deserves? In what anales do you swim? I spent years believing my life was complete, leaving no room for further desires or hidden desires in my heart. My journey, freedom, and solemnity are woven with delicadeza. I still found myself here, contemplating a single rose, feeling a deep and underlying stirring in my heart. The peace of my introspection was broken as a familiar sound rang in my office door. Tomorrow, a new morning arrives, full of promises and susurros of what could be. Her voice was involved and forceful, acariciating the heart. I returned and saw you there, like a surge of destiny that illuminated my world. David Carter at the door, exuding mystery and anger. The dawn of a new day brings promises and hopes of what could be, I replied, my voice booming with unexpected dulzura. Entering the room, he gently closed the door behind him, as if the outside world had vanished, creating a refuge for his thoughts and feelings. Mio besquiades el presente tanto genelaba, o sussurro de la rose, mes oídos voiven. I did it, and our decisions resonated in our heart's deep abism. El cabello se alzó delicamada, como si el viento vino secretos al oído de la arde. Of my breathing gently, placing my hands on my lower sides. It's unclear what thoughts you have about me, David Carter, a name that calls to mind pleasant recollections and whispered dreams. Me regaló una sencilla sonrisa y deseaba por acomodarse a Claire and only help yourself discover your mental secrets. This profound and exciting feeling stirs within me. As sincere as I am, I find myself in deep reflection as if the universe had awakened in the darkness of the last night, revealing hidden secrets and resurrecting lost memories. For 20 years, you have been my guide, confidence, and the light that illuminates my days. Just now, please use new eyes. Su voz resonó with pasión y sus ojos ardían intensamente de su tano su alma. Is that negative? Mis labios se movieron, pero se recotea solo silencio. Because reality eluded me like a lost sigh in the wind. David Carter arose with a poetic lentitude, feeling how his legs supported him gently as if the world around him had stopped for a time, allowing him to feel its fragility. Claire, I don't want you to feel insecure. Es la última cosa que espero en profundidad. However, my feelings right now cannot be ignored. No más. Their deep love has touched me. Question. What are we, David Carter? Lo que han les de mí? Has the soul experienced suffering in its pursuit of pure expression? Destiny's sway. Perfect opportunity to discover if we have something exceptional. Possibly you could experience what I feel in my deepest self. From afar, I watched the window opening to the city below. The skyline appeared before my eyes, bringing promises and angelos, inviting me to gaze in its vastness. Already familiar but quickly overwhelmed by possibilities I had never imagined, will I be able to find the path my heart desires? Is it necessary to take that unknown step? No, certeza, confessed, my voice sank like a grit in the night. I doubt I can change how you perceive me. David Carter, no evidencia su desillusion. One sensed a deep peace, as if time had slowed down to a hopeful sigh. Comprendiendo, to avoid apprehension, let it flow with destiny. I returned to her side as if fate had reunited us. The hands interlaced gently, as if seeking one another's warmth in a silent embrace. Even if not, her smile illuminated the moment. Genuine happiness. Do you think my presence will remain in this place as a reminder of the past? Nothing can change how I feel deeply. Exhale, sintiendo el peso. En mi pecho deslizarse como un suro en el aire. This promise nourishes the soul, David Carter. As if weighing my hopes, her eyes opened, obscuring the opportunities she wanted to share. Throughout the day, the conversation lingered in my mind like a persistent whisper I couldn't ignore. ¿Esperaba que el destino nos leyera a caminos monótonos? Llenos de tensiones. Unfortunately, they didn't. David Carter continued walking as if time hadn't scratched him, not forced or led. Even still, I felt it deeply in every part of my being. As I crossed my office's umbrial, I feel time slow down as your presence fills the air with a dulzura only you can provide. As our eyes crossed at the conference table, the world around us faded, leaving only a shared silence. Al pronunciar mi nombre sentía que el mundo se tenía así susurrote y analazo invisible contra nosotros, un hilo de México, vibraban ayer con emociones inexplicables. At the end of the day, the world's weight became too heavy to carry. Tenke, la fatiga apoderó a mi sur, dejando un eco pienajelos en sunos danados. My own mind susurros, not my surroundings' obligations. During my departure, a message on my phone interrupted the silence, bringing back memories and emotions I could not ignore. David Carter, A Frozen Moment, Solitude Dinner. Without the weight of time and the urgency we often feel, love can grow freely. How do you feel about this? My body was filled with emotion as my hand danced softly on the screen, as if every movement were filled with a deep and enticing need. I could choose silence, but my heart brings up memories of what could have been. Hopefully, it may be preserved as intended, unwavering. Maybe I should take a step into the unknown where the mystery awaits with open arms. With force, my heart latched onto my feelings in response. Is it me? What corner of the world and what time will our hearts cross? El restaurante se pondrá en silencio profundo, con amero suave, como si las palabras danzaran un abrazo íntimo, creando una calidez casi perceptible. I sat at the table, feeling the air thicken with possibilities and imagining what could be. Mis dos deslizaron suavemente por la orilla de mi copa de vino, me hundieron a mis ojos perdieron en el destello de la luz, como historia de ángeles y susurros del corazón. David Carter encontraba en calmar envolvente. Su tal cativador, el mera una belleza que me dejaba sin aliento. Although he maintained a cool demeanor, I could not avoid feeling the inquisitiveness that surrounded me. I spent the day in thoughts, trying to understand the reasons for not wanting to come. However, I found myself sitting next to the man who had guided me for 2 decades, a complicated relationship with shared memories. I now consider it with clarity that I had never experienced before. I appreciate your confirmation, said David Carter, with a mix of optimism and apprehension. Her voice became warm, evoking deep emotions in me. I receive a smile that resembles a number, an enigma that challenges me to decipher its hidden meaning. Resonada risa en el alma en un abrazo cálido. I sat on the table, surrounded by a quiet that echoed secrets and dreams. It was as if each corner of the room held the essence of shared moments and undiscovered dreams. David Carter doesn't know how to handle this. Encuentro en un tornillo de emociones, pregúntano cómo me ganó mi percepción de tu conmoción, ve levantar y revelar a luz. El exclamo, labios en el abrazo cálido de su vino. This is not a simple message. This night would flow smoothly, like a gentle siren, without complications or shadows to dim its light. In the intimidation of their connection, 2 almas share a meal. I was engulfed in its essence. Lo presento con dulzura que parecía simple, así el amor se deslizaba entre sus. However, none of this was easy. As the night progressed, a deep peace arose within me. We discussed work, nostalgic stories, and small moments that brought me joy. In that moment, everything flowed with a sense of destiny-written ease. In an instant, David Carter sat up, his eyes fixed on me with an intensity that seemed to transcend time and space. Lo perdí, he said, his voice resonating with sadness and an atmosphere of lost memories. As if to grab the distant stars, I lifted my arm. Has something precious been lost? In the serenity that surrounds you, I see a depth that draws me, always attentive, caring for every detail and person around you as if the world depended on you. Constant reminder of the beauty and responsibility and love in what you do. However, you are the only one right now. I contemplated, haunted by his words. I cannot recall the last time someone observed me with such intensity. El momento sus ojos encontraron los míos, y el mundo de solo su intensidad de mirada. I felt alive, as if time stopped and we were the only two in that magical moment. My thoughts flowed through my chest like deep, engulfing love. An unexpected surprise that gently slides into the heart, evoking emotions I never imagined. En Fulto, Cenere Cálido, exploramos el outside tras la cena. El momento del amar en el bus, la voz de Dave Cartar surgió leyendo el momento con magia inesperada. Allow me to guide you back to your refuge, where your essence heats each rincón. Filled me with intense emotion. I felt stuck between want and reason, as if crossing that line would mean losing myself in a sea of intense and unknown emotions. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding, like repressed emotions finally found their voice. El autobús iba tranquilo, envolviendo a los pasajeros en una comodidad suave. My thoughts flew when you entered my house. After leaving the car at the park, I returned to it, searching for words to express my feelings at that moment. David Carter, your name remains like a pleasant symphony conjuring heartfelt memories. He approached, gently rubbing my hand as if to release a flood of hidden emotions. La calidez envolvente de su toque hablaba de un profundo. No necesitas pronunciar palabras, Edlin. I acquiesced, albeit with a racing heart. No sé si I cannot guarantee what you desire deep within you. La dodo se deslizó suavemente sobre los míos, como si el dejo dejando solo el eco de contacto en especial. By taking our time, we can make each step a surprise on our journey together. Si respiraba, mi corazón latía con intensidad que parecía resonar en el silencio de la noche. It seems so simple, like love flows effortlessly between us. At once, a smile appeared on her face, prompting the question, why should it be any other way? In that moment, my eyes were on him, and I watched him with a deeper understanding. During a nighttime lull, I indulged in the sweet curiosity of wondering what would happen if. This may have been the start of a new chapter, a glimmer of hope among uncertainty. Sometimes, just sometimes, something beautiful began. Before leaving and heading to the door, gently took her hand as if to embrace me. Good evening, David Carter. She observed me with a calmness that seemed to pause time, as if each moment shared was an eternal embrace of understanding and tenderness. Good evening, Claire. Alan pasará hacia la puerta del frente, la calle de su toque andaza en mi piel, como pachinko de un momento de lado. In that moment, a chispa of hope broke into my heart, illuminating the darkness that had been reigning for so long.